So we're going to start here today. And what I like to do for the first 5 minutes is just show everybody kind of what the actual net sheet looks like. So obviously we're going to go back, we're going to train, we're going to get everybody educated on all of these programs because it's important. A lot of people will end up with a software platform, but they don't understand the programs that they're offering. So we're going to go through the details. But the way that this works right here is once you get your CliqueOffers account, the easiest thing you can do, and you can generate leads, and we're going to be talking about all that in the future, but the easiest thing that you can do right here is you can go in and you can just click add a listing. I'm just going to put in an address here. So let's say somebody called me and they want me to come list their house. And I think this home is going to be worth $550,000. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead right here and I'm going to create my net sheet. Our CliqueOffers is the platform that is going to allow you to bring everything into one place to be able to present to your clients. And so if you come in here, you can start off with costs. So let's say that if you have the mortgage balance, you can put that in. But let's say on this scenario, I'm going to do a 3% seller commission, 3% buyer commission. I'm going to put this in here. I've done my research, so I think this home's going to go under contract in about 20 days. And we'd be closing in about 30. So I'd say by the end of August, we're going to be closing on this thing. I could add notes right here. So if there's something I wanted to say to the client, I could put CMA attached, and I can come right here and I can attach my CMA. The magic of this is that we want to give you the ability to be able to start explaining these programs to your clients that you're working with. And so if I come right here and I click add offer, you're going to see that we've got instant, and you're going to see the agent acquired. So all of these companies that we work with, and we're going to talk about your own network as well too later on, but all of these companies that CliqueOffers works with, and we're going to continue to add more. So as more people come into the mix that makes sense, we'll continue to add them. But all of these companies have a different way that they want to engage with you, the agent. What we want to do is let you go engage, and then you can bring these back into the net sheet. So let's say that you decided that you wanted to present a buy before you sell option for your client. You can click right here on Up Equity, and it's automatically going to load in the fees. And this is all based on the market value of the house. So you as the agent has kind of set the market value. Obviously, you'd be working with these companies to finalize that number, but you've set the market value here. And then the costs and everything are already built in. So you can see that they have a service fee, there's listing commission, buyer commission, there's some closing costs. In this example, there's an equity advance fee. All of that is kind of built in. But what it does is it gives your client the ability to kind of understand that if they go on the open market and you're able to sell it at $550,000, they can kind of see what their current net is versus if they utilize one of these programs. So these programs are not nonprofit. They're not free. There's a cost associated with them. And then you can come in here and you can put in closing date terms. But the biggest thing here is that you can come right here and you can say, okay, here's notes on how I'd move forward with this company. So you've got your own designated rep with each one of these companies. So this is explaining that it's a buy before you sell program, and there's a little bit of blurb right in here. And the biggest thing is that it's telling you which markets it's available in. So for some of y'all, like I'm out of the Atlanta market, these programs work in Georgia, like all of these programs work in Georgia. Some of the markets, you might have one or two programs. Some of the markets, there might not be any of these programs. And if there's not any of these programs, what's really cool is that you can kind of build your own network of people to deliver on some of these programs. And we're going to talk about that today as well. But basically, I go in here, I get the information, I add my next offer. I want to talk about a sell then list. Let's say that I go in here and I want to get an open door cash offer. So I just click this get an offer button. It's going to drive me right into open door within 30 seconds. Come back and say, yeah, we'll make an offer, or no, we're not going to make an offer. So let's say here on this one, they made an offer of $475,000. You can see that their service fee is already baked into this. Now with Open Door, we have what's called an additional listing commission in here because Open Door is only going to pay, they pay a 1% referral. if they end up buying your client's house. So if you bring your client to them, so if you want to represent that client, you can add whatever you want to it, and it's just on the listing side. Now you've got your actual net sheet right here, and you've got a couple of offers to go in to meet with that client. It's going to be a listing appointment. You can sit down with them. You can share this. This is a digital link. You have your own digital link. Nobody else can see this. The client can't see it until you let the client see it. You're going to be presenting to them these different options. So you're going to be explaining to them what the buy before you sell option looks like and the cost breakdown and how it would work. You can talk about the sell then list program, which again, I'm showing you this ahead of time, and then we're going to get into the training of these different programs. But this is what an actual CliqueOffers net sheet is going to look like. You can come right here and you can just hit seller reject it. Maybe in this scenario, maybe they don't have a home they're buying, so buy before you sell isn't going to work. Maybe they just want to sell their house. So we get rid of this one right here. And then maybe they're kind of trying to choose between this sell then list versus this open market sale. So you've got all this information right here. And if they decide they want to move forward with the actual homeward offer right here, you can click right into here. You reach out to your rep and you start the process with them to finalize the offer and get that. So I am going to throw a lot of information at you, but remember this. The goal today is to get a basic understanding of these programs, because most clients, they don't understand that there's solutions out there. Most clients think I can list with an agent, I can for sale by owner, or I can ask for a cash offer. When people ask for a cash offer, they don't understand that there are several different ways cash offers can work. So they don't know to ask, oh, can I go buy this new house before I've sold my other house? They just know that cash offer is something that they can ask for. And so obviously we can deliver on all of this. So why use CliqueOffers? The biggest thing to me is that, as agents, we always talk about, some agents love buyers, some agents love listings. Most of us work a combination of the two. But at the end of the day, what we know with CliqueOffers is that it will allow you to close more listings. So 81% of sellers talk to just one agent before listing their home. And so we want to make sure when we're talking to our sellers that they understand that you are one source for all of the solutions. So 46% of sellers use their listing agent to buy another home. Some of our favorite deals, right? I mean, what's better than one deal? It's two deals. 87% say they'll likely refer their agent to others. I mean, we've seen these stats before, right? The 87% number. To me, if you can give them a really cool, innovative, strong experience up front, they're going to want to repeat that in the future for sure. So obviously being the agent the sellers talk to first has huge benefits. And so with offering these multiple seller options, it brings us into the get a cash offer, get multiple options on your home, call to action. It's different than buying buyer leads, but it's one of the highest used methods right now for getting listings. So there's over $32 trillion in home equity today. Clients have the ability to do more things than they had in the past. I'm a huge believer that as agents, we should be consulting and educating, not selling. I know we got to sell to get opportunities. I know we got to market to get opportunities. But once we're sitting with a potential client, we really need to be that consultant. Great consultants can ask questions and provide solutions and kind of let them decide which route they want to go. So we're not pushing them to do any of these programs. As a matter of fact, 90% of sellers will just say to you, hey, I don't want any of these solutions. I just want you to put a sign in the yard. That's awesome. When it came to cash offers, about 99% of people said, just put a sign in my yard. 38% of people that come in and ask for a cash offer will list their home within 12 months. So these are usually pretty motivated sellers that are asking for this. So we're going to get more listings, win more business. We're definitely going to be the local expert. But the biggest thing we got to start looking at for, I think, as agents is understanding motivation of speed, convenience, and net proceeds. So we always think that people want the most money for their home, and they do. But at what cost do they want the most money for their home? There is a lot of stats out there on speed, convenience, and net, and what do sellers really want. So we consider these to be kind of the modern selling options in today's market. We talk about going from a one-dimensional listing agent to a five-dimensional listing agent. The first dimension is being an amazing listing agent and putting it on the open retail market. The next option out there is cash offers. People are very familiar with cash offers. And so on the cash offers platform, we've got Open Door, we've got Easy Street Offers. So Easy Street Offers is a company that is building a large network of buyers in all the markets across the United States. They're actually owned by Fidelity that we've partnered up with to give you more cash offers. But one of the biggest things is you've got your own local sources. So if none of these companies are buying homes in your market, you have the ability to build your own local cash offer market. Buy then sell, one of my favorite programs, probably the most underutilized program out there. We've got 4 different companies that can help in the buy then sell. We've got a sell then list product in some markets. About 78% of HomeWorks business right now is sell then list. And then we've got a sale leaseback. So we're going to hit on all 4 of these today. So the first one that we're going to talk about is cash offers. The advantages to a cash offer is speed. It's going to be fast close. It's going to be convenient. There's going to be no financing or appraisal. I mean, it's a pretty blunt, here's your offer, here's the inspection, here's what we expect after the inspection. It's kind of a yes-no negotiation. There's no showings, and it's super straightforward and super easy to understand. The disadvantages is that it typically is going to result in a lower net to seller. So when we look at cash buyers, we're looking at different types. We're looking at iBuyers. Their goal is to get as close to retail as they can, but at the end of the day, they still have to buy the house. They still have to relist the house, and they still have to try to make a little bit of a profit. 3 years ago, they were so aggressive, they were overpaying for houses. Today, they're just kind of medium grade. But again, we never know what their offer is going to be till we get one. So we never want to guess. We don't know because it's all based on supply and demand, their internal dynamics, what their pricing structure looks like, and what they think about that individual house. You got your buy hold investors. These are the hedge funds. These are local investors or individuals. A year and a half ago, they were paying full market value for homes. Today, they've cooled off a little bit. And it's just because you think about the dynamics of borrowing money today. If I'm a buy hold investor and I go buy a house, I got to go buy at today's rates and now go compete in a rental market that is still working off of rates from a couple of years ago. It would be hard for me to make money in most markets right now. You got your flip investors. They're looking to buy it at about a 30% discount because they want to maximize their profit. And then you've got your wholesalers. The wholesalers, obviously, they want to put the house under contract, try to make a percent profit, selling it back to the flip investors. And so these are the different types of cash offers. The next product that we have is called Sell Then List. It's a newer style of product. It's very interesting. HomeWorks the one doing it. I've seen some investors do this as well too. Basically, the way that it works is that the client is going to receive part of their equity up front. The company, HomeWorks, buys the house. You then list the house, and you have 90 days to sell the house on the open market for full market value. The client then gets a second bite of the apple when you sell that home on the open market. But in order for HomeWorks or other people to do these types of programs, they're going to make their money on a service fee or convenience fee for doing this. So the advantage of a sell then list is it's going to be a fast close. You're going to receive equity quickly on the first sale. Remember, 68% of Americans have 50% equity in their home or better right now. People have more money. They can put a little bit more into convenience and speed. And it's typically going to be a higher net than a cash offer because a cash offer is going to be one shot. Here's your offer. You're out. You're done. The disadvantages is that there's a 6% fee plus agent commissions. So the way that HomeWorks does this is because they have to go in and buy the house. They have to pay closing costs. They have holding costs. They have all of these things. They have to charge a 6% fee. to be able to do this. The other disadvantage is that these cannot work on homes that have been listed in the last 30 days. These are kind of pre-market listings is the sweet spot. Their formula is actually pretty simple. They offer 89% of true market value, less the service fee and commissions. So if the service fee is 6% and the commissions happen to be 6%, the client's going to receive 77% on the first sale, and it can close in 21 days. So let's say you got $1 million house, client owes $500,000 on the house. They're sitting in that 68%. They're going to get an offer of about $770,000 on that first deal. Once they go under contract, there'll be an inspection. Homeward is going to pay and have the inspection done. As long as everything is good, they're going to stick to 770. The client gets a check for 770. They don't own the house anymore. They move on to whatever their next adventure is, but they're going to get that 770 up front. So now they've got a check for $270,000 in profit after the mortgage was paid off. And now you put the home on the market for $1 million. So in this case, if it sold for $1 million, you're going to collect commissions just like any other normal transaction, and they will get the remainder. So they would get an additional check for $110,000 at that second closing. So it gives them the ability to get the speed and convenience on the first sale, and not full net, but close to full net on the open market. Buy then sell. This is my favorite program. So I was a listing agent for years and years and years, and I lost sleep at night trying to double time moves, because I don't know about y'all, but my client base, they would say, hey, Scott, here's the deal. I want you to list my house. I want top dollar. I want to buy a house for bottom dollar. I want it to close on the same day at the same closing attorney, 2 hours apart. Please make it happen. Can we do this? Obviously, most of these clients could not afford 2 loans at the same time. And so these programs came out a couple of years ago, and I absolutely love them because they have the lowest fees. They allow the client to go ahead and be a buyer today. So if I get somebody qualified who's selling their house today and then go put a house under contract tomorrow, and the cool part about this is that they can go move into their new home, relax, move all their stuff over, and they are in their new house. They're comfortable. And then you get 6 months to sell their old house on the open market for top dollar. And so the advantages is it's going to remove the home to sell contingency. And again, everybody's market's different. In Atlanta right now, if you ask for a home to sell contingency, you might or might not get it. If you do get it, pretty much the negotiations are over at that point. Like, that was the negotiation. Your client's going to pay full asking price. I'm noticing sellers will give more concessions if I come over without a home to sell contingency. So I can make a more competitive offer. Obviously, I can avoid moving twice, and you typically get a higher net than a cash offer or a sell then list. The disadvantages is that you do own, for a moment in time, 2 homes, and it's only available for certain buyers. Client must be using a conventional VA or jumbo loan on their next home. They're typically going to get around 70% equity advance on the equity that they have in their home. These companies will come in and they're going to put an offer on the home your client is selling. And that offer is going to range from 75 to 85% value. I call that the backstop offer. So basically, they're going to write an all-cash offer on your $1 million house for $800,000. That cash offer is going to close 6 months after you've moved into your new house. This is important. The reason they do 6 months is because Fannie and Freddie have a guideline that says if you have an all-cash offer on your house with no contingencies inside of 6 months, they don't have to count your mortgage payment on your current house. That solves the debt-to-income issue. So if you've got somebody who they're approved contingent upon the sale of their house, this can give them a different approval letter saying they're actually approved to go buy that new house. Now, that's only step one, because I own $1 million house. I've got a mortgage payment on it. I got an $800,000 cash offer that I don't want to take, but I owe $500,000 on the house. The second thing these companies do is they actually look at their offer of 800, they look at your mortgage balance of 500, and they go, okay, cool, you're eligible for up to $300,000 in an equity advance. And so they will give you the equity advance amount so you can utilize that to put a down payment on your new house, to fix your old house, to move, closing, anything related, whatever it might be, they're going to front you that money, and it's going to be at 0% interest. Now, each company does origination fees a little bit different. One company might charge a 2% origination fee. Another company charges like $18.50 flat rate. HomeLight doesn't charge an origination fee, but they give you 90 days instead of 6 months to sell your house. There are little nuances between each one of these programs. Now, one of the number one questions I get is I'll have an agent call me and say, hey, Scott, my client wanted to put 20% down on the new house, but their equity advance was only $100,000, and they need $200,000 to get to 20%. So I don't think we're going to use the program. Remember, with most mortgage companies, and you need to check with your mortgage company, make sure they can do this, they will do a one-time recast for your client. So let's say my client, I said, you know what, let's put down 5% on the new home, put up $50,000 on your $1 million home. Let's move into your new home. And then I'm going to sell your house in the open market. When we get the rest of the proceeds out of that house, you can take that money and you can put it towards your mortgage on the recast and get to 20%. Biggest thing with buy then sell, to me, I like educating clients on this immediately for a couple reasons. Number one is most of them don't even know it's an option. Number two is that once I've explained this to them, they might say, Scott, you know what? I'm not interested. I don't want to pay the fees. Let's just put my home on the market. If my client calls me 2 weeks after we've been on the market and says, hey, Scott, I just found a really cool house. We really want to go see it, and they love it, I can take them back into this buy then sell and say, hey, remember, we're not under contract on your house yet, but we can get you in this home if you want to use the buy then sell. So by bringing it up early, it allows me to kind of re-bring it up in the future to solve a problem. Fees are typically going to range anywhere from 2% to about 3% on the sale of the house. And those are the fees that are pretty much baked in usually across the board, but you'll be able to see some real nets and comparisons with these different companies. As you start to work with these different companies, they're all amazing companies, but one company might offer more equity than another. So it's never a bad idea to get a couple of different options, even in one product. The final product that we're going to talk about is the sell leaseback. The advantage is it removes contingencies. It makes more competitive offers. It allows you to avoid moving twice. So in some markets, you might not have buy then sell, but you might have sell leaseback. So sell leaseback could be used as a buy before you sell product. It's typically going to have a little bit of a higher net than cash offers. The disadvantage depends on HOA. If the HOA has rental restrictions, it's not going to work. And your rent could possibly be higher than your current mortgage payment. So this program is probably used the least, but when it's needed, it's really needed. So the way that it works is that the client will get 100% of market value, and that's going to be confirmed with an inspection and appraisal. So the initial offer comes in as like an LOI, like a letter of intent. Once they sign it, there's going to be an inspection. The inspection goes good. They move on to the appraisal. If they offered 500 and the home appraises for 520, the new price becomes 520. If they offered 500 and the home appraises for 480, the new price becomes 480. If you don't like 480, the client can terminate. But the way that it works, $1 million house, they're going to offer $1 million. And when they buy that house, they're going to hold about 30% in a fund of future money for your client. So in the initial sale, they might pay $700,000. They're going to take out the fees, the closing cost, and 1.5 months worth of agreed upon rent rate. The client can then stay in the home. They can rent it back for up to a year. They've got a second program out there that allows people to do it for up to 5 years. Most of the people in the 1 year is typically who we're working with on the real estate side. And what they're looking for is they're looking to go ahead and get some of their equity today without having to currently move out of their house. So commission is paid in full on the open market sale, and the listing agent can receive half of the commission on the first sale. In this scenario, let's say the client gets their $700,000, there's $300,000 held in an account for them in the future. They rent a house for, I don't know, let's say 8 months. Let's say they're building their dream house and they need 8 or 9 months to build their dream house, but they have to start putting down money and they can't own their current house. You could utilize this in that situation. They get the $700,000 up front. They owe $500,000 on the house. They've got a $200,000 check in their hands. They're renting their current house back. They've got the mortgage on their new house. Maybe they're doing construction or perm, whatever it might be. And then 7 months from now, they come back to you and they say, okay, I am ready to now sell this house and I don't want to rent it anymore. You go put it on the open market. Now, let's say in 7 months, the home's worth $1.1 million. Well, if the home's worth $1.1 million, put it on the market at 1.1, if it sells for 1.1, they get all of that upside. So all of the upside would go to the client. Sale leaseback, I think of new construction that's going to take longer than 6 months. I think of job relocation, right? If my family's not ready to come with me to Austin because they want to finish school, I could, in theory, do a sale leaseback on my current home in Atlanta, go purchase a new home in Austin, and when school is done and everybody's ready to move, so I don't have to do temporary housing. It can be used in a divorce situation. It can also be utilized in a situation where maybe somebody's credit card debt is up and they want to be able to pay off some credit card debt. Those are the basics to kind of all of the different programs that are out there that you can build relationships with. And then CliqueOffers is a digital platform that allows you in real time to put these solutions into one platform so you can sit down, you can explain this to your client. Any of these instant offers that come over, whether it's Open Door, OfferPad, are really kind of a starting point estimate. So it's going to give you the instant offer estimates and cash offers from multiple sources. The program notes access to the account managers and the most relevant options in the marketplace are all going to be sitting right here for you. Once you have passed the test and you are CliqueOffers Certified, you're going to get a link. There'll be a link that's put in the chat at the end of the day that allows you to go in, take the certification test. You can take it multiple times, but we want everybody to get 100. You'll get a login, password, you'll get all your information to go in and get your platform. There'll be an exact guide of what to do. And so that'll be creating the account. You're going to be able to set up your profile, add your logos, social media, and lender integration. And then you'll also be able to, inside of your Lofty account through Epic, you'll be able to use your email domain inside of CliqueOffers to, when a lead generates into your CliqueOffers platform, it'll also show up into your Lofty. That should prepare you for the test. I feel like it gets you really into the basics of understanding what you have here. We're going to dig deeper into lead generation. We're going to dig deeper into having these conversations with real clients. But this is what you need to do to get started today.